Creative Pro Wrestling fans, I am longtime independent wrestling fan Robert. Oh, baby! Was a great way for Creative Pro Wrestling to kick off 2023 from the Knights of Columbus in Lynbrook, New York. The action begins with a four-way match, as we saw Smart Mark Sterling and Slade, Better Call Slade, defend the Tag Team Championship against CPA and Kevin Tibbs, the Midlife Express, versus Jay Cruz and Victor Chase, the Brick City Boys, versus the Phoenix, GKM, and the Vegan, Leo Sparrow, the Birds of the Sun, who were accompanied by the Big Bird, John Clash. What is he, a Sesame Street reject? He don't look like an 8-foot-tall Muppet. Good match to open up this event, and the Midlife Express defeated the Brick City Boys, Birds of the Sun, and Better Call Slade to become the new Creative Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champions. Midlife Express came out to My Sacrifice by Creed, and I decided to have a little Creed karaoke after they won the match. Had won the match and won the belts. Next was Jay George, unpredictable Jay George, accompanied the ring by Lenny, and I forgot the other guy's name, as Jay George did battle with the Rare Breed, Kevin Kiley Jr., who was Alex Riley in the WWE, still came out to his WWE music, which is a cool tune. Kevin Kiley Jr. ended up defeating Jay George to win the matchup. Next up in tag team action, we saw EJ Risk and VSK, the Adrenaline Express. Not sure if these guys are going to be a team, reunited as a team for this one time only or for the foreseeable future. And EJ Risk sang an a cappella version of the Backstreet Boys Boys' I Want It That Way. I am not a fan of any boy band. I think they're a bunch of wussies. But the Adrenaline Express did battle with the most professional wrestler, Brian Myers, and the redheaded rebel Heath, who of course wrestles for Impact Wrestling and was known as Heath Slater in the WWE. Found to be an okay matchup. Brian Myers and Heath defeated the Adrenaline Express to pick up the victory. And next, it was time for the Creative Pro Wrestling's general manager, Ariella Nix, the Battle Royal to crown an interim Creative Pro Wrestling champion, with Bryce Donovan injured for the time being. Among the participants in this match were Pat Fitzpatrick, Jay Messias, or is it Messias? Liam Davis. Well, Liam Davis. Hold that thought. Liam Davis. The sweeper Eddie Privetti. Evil Kip. Steve Somerset of the Even Stevens, Nick Robles, Dr. Cool, Jay Clang, or is it Jake Clang, VBU, Vlogbro University, Dante Drago, and Jack Tomlinson. Well, all apologies for a lot of the guys whose names I did not get. But, it seemed like maybe they were mostly students that may have been getting ring time for the first time on a show. Let me see here if I forgot anybody else. Philip Cardigan. Well, I mean, it was a battle royal. I thought it was going to be a Royal Rumble match instead, but it was a battle royal with somebody in the ring. At one point, Evil Kip was left alone in the ring. He threw somebody out, and the bell never rang. And I'm wondering what happened. And Philip Cardigan, I don't know if he was hiding under the ring or he was thrown through the ropes or went thrown under the ropes. He eliminated Evil Kip to seemingly win the Battle Royal and become the interim heavyweight champion. But out comes General Manager Ariella Nix. And she says, look, I'm sorry. One of the people I invited to the Battle Royal, was late, and, and out came the Dominican destroyer Vargas, who practically made mincemeat out of Philip Cardigan and threw him over the top rope. And as a result, Dominican destroyer Vargas is now the interim Creator Pro Wrestling champion. And, Ariella took the microphone and she said, Bryce Dobbin said he was injured. And eventually Bryce Dobbin comes out with a cast or some kind of brace on his hand. They say he has a broken hand. Bryce and Vargas are like eye to eye with each other. They're holding their belts up. And referee Stephen Dumeng and another referee, they come in the ring trying to prevent these guys from coming to blows. And Ariella Nix says, hey, why don't we have this unification match, title match right now? And Stephen Dumeng is saying to Ariella, no, he's not cleared. And Ariella hits Bryce in the balls, and I forgot what Vargas did to him afterwards. And I don't know if Vargas, he held up both belts, but I don't know if he left with both belts. And eventually out comes, I guess, Creator Pro Security, more, I guess, wrestlers in training. And they're all coming out telling Vargas and Ariella gathering. And Ariella still has the microphone. She's saying, hey, don't tell me what to do. I'm your boss. And eventually Ariella and Vargas do leave the ring. At that point, they went to intermission. One heck of a crowd, I must say here. Okay. The action resumed with a women's match as we saw the international pop star Becca, or B3Ka, that's Becca spelled with the number 3 in it, as she did battle with former NXT star the notorious Mimi. Good match these two ladies had. Becca, of course, fresh off her appearance on SmackDown, losing to Lacey Evans. Forgot what name they gave her. Notorious Mimi ended up defeating the international pop star Becca to win this good matchup. Next up was a grudge match which stemmed from December's show, which I missed, as Bronson of the Iron Savages did battle with the Silver Sniper TJ Crawford. Crawford had come out with one of his legs taped up, and he's limping to the ring, but as soon as the bell rang, he acted like he got shot out of a cannon and went after Bronson, and the match was underway. And I gotta say, guys, look out for TJ Crawford. This guy, I know he came back from an injury, but this guy will be something. Eventually, actually, I know what happened. Bronson was outside of the floor. He had grabbed a chair. And he hit Crawford in that leg and got disqualified. And I think they were going at it after the match was over. So obviously this is going to continue. And then it was time for the main event as the dime piece, Aaron Rourke, challenged Bobby Orlando for the television championship in an I Quit match. At one point, these guys, they brought kendo sticks into play. Doors were brought into play. A garbage can with trash can lids. The fans were just eating Aaron Rourke alive, seemingly. Eventually, I think the end came when Rourke got some duct tape and he put it around Orlando's wrists. And, I forgot what he did, what he tried to do. Eventually, Orlando, still with the wrist taped on, he's choking Aaron Rourke. He's sitting on his back, choking him, and then he pulls backwards, and then you hear Aaron Rourke on the mic say, "I quit" on the microphone, enabling Bobby Orlando to defeat the dime piece Aaron Rourke to retain the television championship. All right, it was personal notes time. Great seeing Joe Carson, Tommy, Sam. Welcome back, Jeffrey and Jeffrey, who I hadn't seen since since Wildlife back in September. Jameson came for his first Creator Pro show. Good seeing. Sierra. I believe you and your father were right in front of me in the line when I arrived. James McGrady. Tiffany was there. A lot of good-looking ladies in the crowd. Scott Millman. How can I forget? That reminds me. All apologies. Another participant in the Battle Royal, Hunter Mills, spelled Millz. Met him before he was a wrestler. Like I said, Scott Millman was in the crowd. And Sierra. Like I said, you and your father were like in front of me when I arrived in line, and unless I'm wrong, Sierra, you're either my height or just a little taller than I am. Lindbrook Eats on Merrick Road has some good food. I stopped in there before the show because I didn't want to stand out there for a long time. But by the way, they were going to let open the doors at 4 o'clock. The crowd was let in until 4:09 p.m. I don't know if there was a seating issue going on. I mean, I don't know if Creator Pro Wrestling will consider trying to get a bigger place to do shows with the way that, I mean, this was a sellout crowd that this show was. Nice seeing fellow NYWCite Joey. More seats were added after the crowd was let in. Lindbrook Eats on America Road. Unfortunately, on Sundays they close at 4 in the afternoon, but the other days they close at 8 p.m. Went to eat at Vincent's on, I forgot what street it's on, Vincent's Pizza. Had about 3 slices after the show. And the show actually ended way before 8 p.m., surprisingly. Which brings me to this point. Why is a Creator Pro, whenever you do Sunday shows, why can't you start 2 or 3 o'clock instead of 5 o'clock? Why can't we start at 2 or 3 p.m. instead of 5 p.m.? Okay, Wow, let's see. Anything else to discuss here? Darn, let me see. Wow. I mean, it's cool that, for Creator Pro do shows on Sundays, because, most everybody wants to run Saturday nights or Friday nights. I mean, sometimes Creator Pro run on a Friday night. However, Creator Pro Wrestling returns Sunday, March 19th from the Knights of Columbus in Lynbrook, New York. On this next show, I would like to see T.J. Crawford go one-on-one with Bronson with some kind of a stipulation. Would like to see the newly crowned tag team champions, the Midlife Express, take on Better Call Slade. I'm sure Evil Kip will defend his Mayhem medal since he didn't defend it in the Battle Royal. I failed to mention Max Caster and MJF were in the building commentating the show, which I believe was streamed live on Twitch. I know I've said this in the past, but Creator Pro Wrestling, ever consider having a women's championship? I mean, it seems like almost every show there's a ladies match, and these ladies do work hard. I know it would be tough to have women in there. I mean, I wish Ariella Nix was still in the ring, even though she's the GM right now of the promotion. I wonder how much further this is going to go with her as the GM. Definitely congratulations to the Dominican Destroyer Vargas on winning the championship. Well, the interim championship. I don't know if Bryce Dye will be ready March 19th. If not, I'm sure there'll be somebody worthy to challenge Vargas for the belt. Wow. Damn, what else can be said about this event? Wow. Well, there was a shithead in attendance, and he will not be receiving an ounce of fame out of me. Man. Wonder where Steven Azure. We saw Steve Somerset at the Even Steven, but Steven Azure was not at this event for some reason. Well, okay, I think that will do it. Like I said, great time at Creative Pro Wrestling. But then again, when was the last time they disappointed? And can't wait for their next show, March 19th. No show title yet, but it will be at Knights of Columbus in Lynbrook, New York. And again, Creative Pro, you might want to consider getting a bigger building if you're going to keep selling out that place from time and time again. Okay. Creative Pro Wrestling.